the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm off script today. I'm off the wall. So tonight we're going to do a cigar talk. This is a pop-up cigar talk. We're going to get into a really good cigar. We're going to pair it with our YouTube-friendly iced tea, okay, for our cigar tonight. So let's get into the discussion. Let's get into the cigar right after this, like it's a commercial, right? So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for this cigar talk, we'll be getting into the Hoyo de Monterrey Habana Epicure de Luxe. For you guys out there, you cigar lovers, this is a Cuban, so it's going to be very, very hard to get. And I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about this particular cigar. I'm going to show you there's a huge lineup of these different cigars. Okay, so here's some of the lineups that you guys may see. And if you're looking at the prices are correct. This for a box, 2 boxes of 25 for $310 for a Hoyo de Monterrey Carnations Tobos. I'm gonna butcher some of these names, but I'm just showing you for a box of 25 is around $500 for the Hoyo de Monterrey doubles. And then if you look in this one, this is crazy, $4,000 for a box of 15 for the Hoyo de Monterrey double Cornez. And then the prices go down significantly when you come down to the Hoyo de Monterrey La Joya de Rio Seco, and of course the Hoyo de Monterrey Epicure. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I do know how to smoke them. Okay, I'm down in this tier right here. Mine are about $200 for 10 cigars per. Okay, so again, the one that I am enjoying today is the La Casa Hoyo de Monterrey Habana. Okay. You can find these roughly around $120 to $200 per 10 case, okay? And tonight I'm going to do this cigar some justice. I know a lot of times I do V cuts, but I'm going to do a full cut on this particular cigar. We know Cubans right here, right after the ring. I want a full tasting of this particular one. And for you guys who are not familiar with this particular cigar, okay, I cut off a nice size cap, okay? Nice size cap for that. I want the full flavor with this one. I'm going to toast, I'm going to burn the ends rather, okay? Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to rotate it above the fire. And the only reason why you really, burn the end so you can have an even burn, more times than that, okay? Then I'm going to toast the end, get the cigar ready to smoke. That smells great. And if you guys are not familiar with this particular cigar, I've done a cigar talk with this one. I haven't been that much in depth, but with this particular cigar, I'll show you some of the information if you guys are really into cigars. The length is 4.5 inches. The gauge, the ring gauge is around 52. Okay, and again, it says estimated price $120 per box of 10. That depends on when you get it from. Now, for you guys who want to know how this particular cigar tastes, it has strong flavor of pepper, okay? Some creaminess. It's in the lighter realm of this line of cigars with the Hoyo de Monterrey cigars. So this is a really good beginning one if you get into Cubans. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, some people go crazy about Cubans. There's really nothing special about Cuban. It's just really good grown tobacco from Cuba. That's pretty much what it is. And so because we can't get Cuban cigars in America, we got to bring them back from somewhere. That is what make it much more expensive because it's rare. Everybody can get it, yada, yada, yada. You get it, right? So anyway, let's spark this up and let's get into the discussion here, okay? I like to burn it at a 45-degree angle at first. Okay, nice and smooth. That's the one thing about Cubans too. Any Cuban you smoke, whether it be a light smoking Cuban or a dark smoking Cuban like a Maduro leaf, they are very smooth. Okay, very, very smooth. I don't like to like this one burn. I'm gonna get a little more fire. I just want to make sure it burns evenly. All right. So let's talk about the art of investing. The art of investing. Now, when we think about the art of investing, ladies and gentlemen, investing is a way to potentially increase the amount of money you already have. Okay. The goal is to buy. The goal is to buy or to invest. Okay. We're inside of that nucleus. We're inside of that definition. But the goal is to buy financial products, also called investments. Okay. Which essentially turn into what? Assets. And hopefully sell them at a higher price than what you initially paid. Now, this doesn't mean you always have to sell. This also means that you can be investing in a business or property and you get that residual passive income each and every month, each and every week, however you're getting paid. Now, I talked to a buddy of mine this evening. They really kind of sparked the cigar talk. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, but he's actually 2 hours away from me, and he's already acquired 10 properties. And what he's done with that is he has used some properties for short-term rent and then some properties for long-term rent. And his short-term rent are Airbnbs, where he's using those particular properties that are essentially in a hotel district. You know, there's some houses, some apartments, some duplexes that are in like hotel district. Like, oh, there's some apartments maybe down the street from this hotel. So he's competed with the hotels and he's doing very, very well. Out of the 10 properties, he's about to acquire 2 or 3 more properties. Now, you guys been on this channel, you know that I was in the market last year trying to acquire my first property, but I had to back out because I was spending so much money in the option period. All the different things that real estate investors go through, all the lows and downs, that was me. People last minute wanted the option to expire so they can list the property on the market for higher because the market started to be a seller's market. But I know between now and February next year, I'm still planning on buying a property. I move slower than most people. And anytime you move slower, you're losing out on profit. Okay. But me, I forgot who, I believe it was Colin Powell was saying something like, you have to make decisions based upon 75% of the information. It was some quote he made that was very, very intelligent. But we need to understand the different types of investment, ladies and gentlemen, because when you invest in whether it be a portfolio or different stocks, then I have to figure out what type of investor are you? Are you a day trader? Or are you a trader that you're going to continue to buy a certain stock or certain stocks and continue to buy them and only sell them when you need them? Or you're a particular investor who's going to buy a different arrays of stocks so you can bring in those dividends. I have some friends who just buy dividend stocks, okay? And they don't really care what the dividends bring in because they know accumulative that if they continue to buy all these different stocks, that they will exactly continue to pay themselves residual and passive income each and every month. This is the art of investing. Now, you can go and read a book about the art of investing, but I'm going to break it down Barney style for you to understand. The art of investing, it doesn't matter if you work at Popeyes, Burger King, McDonald's. I don't know how that light came back on, but it's doing something weird. But anyway, it doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter your income. If you can free up $10, $20, $30, $50, $100, and believe me, I see people in my old neighborhood, my old financial level, buying some of the most expensive things that has no worth. Like if this was a Versace shirt, it has no worth other than the word Versace on it that you paid $100 for a t-shirt. Where this t-shirt was $10, a Versace shirt would be $100. That's not an investment. Clothes are not investments. Clothes go out of style. It seems to be like every 2 or 3 months. Remember Bathing Ape? Remember Bathing Ape was in style? As soon as it came in style, it went out of style. Remember Red Monkey jeans? As soon as they came in style, the only thing that I noticed that has not went out of style when it comes to clothing are 1, Jordans, and 2, Air Force Ones. Those are the only ones, Air Force One. So investing, the art of investing is about using the cash you have now and using the amount of income you have now in buying financial products. That is the art of investments, and knowing how to multiply on that and being very, very patient. Because if you notice, if you guys are banking on the stock market has been very volatile these past couple of months, okay? It's been very, very volatile these past couple of months, and I am telling people just to hold. Like take, for instance, my portfolio, okay? My portfolio in this past week, if I were to watch this and really look at the amount of profit that I have gained and lost. So today my portfolio went up 3.7% at a profit of $860, okay? And because Bitcoin is still live, that's fluctuating, but we know that's not doing so well right now. But I'm still going up in my portfolio. I'm up to $867 a day. And I really want you to think about this, because if you can make $800 a day, wouldn't you be in a better place? We have to understand that this won't be my usual or my continuous returns, okay? Because 3% of my portfolio, which telling you is $800 something. But I could mostly live off if it was 1% of my portfolio, okay? 1.5, which would be around $420. Think about if you can make $420 a day, Monday through Friday, except for holidays. This is the art of investing, okay? Simplify, because whether you're going to invest in stocks, bonds, index, and also ETFs, commodities, precious metals, property, businesses, brick and mortar, all of these ways you can invest your money. You can invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You can invest in option trading and binary options. There's so many avenues for you to attack when it comes to investing. I don't care how much you're bringing in a month. I don't care how much you're bringing in a year. There's money to be invested and there's money to be made. Here's one thing I want you guys to really look at. Over the course of the week, this is where I'm at. And this is what I'm telling you about compare and contrast. For the week, I'm absolutely down. I'm down $685, but today I'm up $800 some odd dollars. So typically it averages out probably $200 something, which I'm absolutely fine with, okay? Over the past month, I'm only up $760. Now, these numbers vary depending on if I'm a long-term trader, a short-term trader, or a day trader. See, day traders trade large volume of stocks each and every day. Short-term traders, they trade stocks anywhere from 1 to 3 months. Okay, 1 to 3 months, they're trading stocks. Okay, long-term traders, you guys are in it for the long haul. But this is how you lower your taxes, and this is how you multiply your wealth year in, year out. And some of the most popular stocks that you guys have been hearing, those are not the ones to, in my opinion, to really invest in. Those are the most volatile because they're being controlled by some group. Whether it be Wall Street Bets Group is being controlled by some group. So you guys need to be very aware how you're going about your investments. That is some good iced tea. Ooh, that's some good iced tea there. You have to be very cognizant about how you're going about your investments, because if we're looking at this, right, I want to show you this option I've been playing around with for the past month or so. And I've been making a good profit, okay? I've been making a good profit. Right now, I'm only down at 9%. You're saying $23. And the expiration date of this particular option is not until 2022 May. You want to do long-term options because you have the ability to sell this option before it expires out of the money, or you can sell this stock within a time frame where it peaks and you make the most money. And here's the thing. There's no perfect system. There's no perfect algorithm that you can actually follow. Profit is profit. So right now, most people are saying, well, 23 really isn't any money. I'm saying, well, I can sell this in the amount of money that I've invested. I earned $23. And what I'm going to do is, with that profit, I'm going to buy a longer term option, which has the propensity and the potential to make triple the amount. Okay. This is what I kind of call compounding on your options. You use a very small option and you keep multiplying that one option, keep multiplying that one option, keep multiplying that one option. And then when you get to a certain price point, this option is worth what, $255. And when this option reached $500, now I can go to the big boy stocks. I can go to Tesla, Apple, Google, and buy one of those options. Okay. But again, you're going to need more money when you get inside of those. This is just for an example. Okay. But this is how you start leveraging your money to make more money. You leverage your money buying low earning, not low earning, but low amount option trades that you can multiply and compound within itself, and then go into longer and higher price profit options. This is how I do it. Okay. Because if I were to show you, cigar, keep going out because I'm not smoking, I'm just talking. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. I go to buy an option, right? So I don't want to buy this particular option. Let me go back. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go here, LX. And then I'm going to go to trade options. And then as we're looking at this, you see it down here, unfortunately. This is why they're doing it now. I'm going to go buy call because I'm banking on the stock going up because I know the trajectory and the history of the stock market. I do not want July 16th. That is too close. That is a very, very risky option. You never want to do an option that close, okay? The riskier you should ever go with an option is 3 months out, okay? There's really no safe investment there, but there are safer investments. And you want to go probably 6 months out, okay? So let me blow this up. I'm going to go out. Let's say, for instance, I want to go 6 months out. So we're looking at January. Okay, so I come down to January. And the current stock price for this particular stock is $12.42. If I hit the plus sign here, this stock, this one option is going to cost me $285. Okay. But what this does is, if you're looking at this expected profit and loss chart by Robinhood, you can start playing with the analytics here to see where you'll start to make profit if certain things in the market occur. But this gives you time to make your money back, okay, or break even. See, break even here at $15.35. But see, the great thing about option, they base the amount of profit on the expected price of that option based upon time decay, meaning that we see the trajectory of this option growing, and about in the next 6 or 7 months, we are expecting this stock to reach $15.35. And if it goes over that projected amount, you start to make profit even before the option get even close to expiring. That's essentially how it works. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to show you my option, which I am up on. And again, this option is way more than 6 months out. Okay. It's far out, far out. It's May 20th. Okay. So you see my small profit here, but this is what I'm talking about. I can take this option right now and sell it back and then buy a higher option, if that makes any sense. But what I'm going to do, it was a time where this option was around, the profit was around $80, and I should have probably sold it then, and then I should have went to a higher option, a longer, higher option, right? Meaning that when I mean higher option, this is what I mean. I don't want to confuse anybody with this, okay? This is very important. What I mean by higher option, let me go back here. Give me 1 second, family. I see you, Kendrick. Tell her what's up, man. All right, let's see here. Trade options. Let me show you this very quickly. So the further out you go, is the cheaper the option. You never want to make this. You never want to make this mistake. So take, for instance, okay, he said 3 months. Okay, but again, that's very, very risky. Okay. So right now, the current price is $12.42. So you're going to use one of my tactics where you say, okay, well, if I go at $12.22, this $2.50 is always times 100. So that's 250. So I want to make profit going into the option. So I'm going to come down here for the $10 mark. Now, here's where the problem lies. Here's where the problem lies. You're already thinking, if I buy a higher price option below the current share price, that I'm going to go into the option making a profit. No. Now, if there's a certain price percentage increase, you'll make instant profit, and it's probably good for you to sell because it's in that 3 month time period. But what happens is when you're not looking at the Greeks, you know, the rho and mostly the theta, when you're not looking at those things with are great indicators of when you should sell, buy, hold, whatever. This is where you make the mistake of time decay, because time decay within that 3 month period, that 90-day period, start to work against you. This is the art of investing. You have to understand this information, because a lot of times you want to pay people, you're getting this shit for free. You're getting it for free. We here on a Tuesday night learning how to make some money. Now, some people, I know you want instant gratification. I'm sorry. I mean, I wish I could give you that. But on this channel, we're trying to learn about that money. Okay. Another key indicator when it comes to option trading, which is very, very important. I'm going to explain this the best way I can. It's called implied volatility. So if I bought this option at its current price, implied volatility is telling me one thing. I don't know why Robinhood is doing this. Okay, I can't blow it up the way I want to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize, but implied volatility is right here. And it says 80.54%. And with that implied volatility, it's an indicator in percentage form to let you know the likelihood of you earning profit or losing profit. Now, because I know this is within that 90-day period, it's an 80% chance I'm going to lose. It's an 80% chance I'm going to lose. Okay, let me see if they got my history on here today. I really want to show you a mistake that I made that I don't want anyone to make, because it was a very costly mistake. Okay, let's see here. Can I search? That was made back in May 14th. Give me 1 second, family. I want to look for this very quickly. Stay with me. Because it was a very costly mistake that I should have never made. It doesn't look like I'm going to find it, but I will tell you it's that famous transaction that I made with Tesla. And what I did was I sold a large amount of my stocks. I believe I sold all of my Neo and half of my plug power. That's why you don't see my Neo where it once was. And I went in and I bought a short-term risky option with Tesla because I thought I had some really good information that Tesla was going to reach 800. Tesla didn't reach 800. As a matter of fact, I think Tesla it's still dwindling at 600. Okay. So let's look at this very quickly. Okay. All right. So Tesla is still at $623. I am up 46%. And anybody knows me, I always want my stocks. And there's nothing I can do about this, but this is how I play around with my stocks. I always want them at 20% plus, 20% plus percentage. Okay. And right now, off my market value of Tesla is $3,100. As you guys can tell right here, the average cost is $425. So I'm doing very, very well because the current stock price is $624. And I'm up $1,000 total return. Okay. Now that might have my history on here. Let's see. All right. We're looking at the percentage here. And here we go. So here's essentially my history. Okay. This was a $1,000 call at $440. As you guys can see this, right? Total $440. And then I made, was it $30? You know, if you see the stock price from 440 to 470, I traded this on April 5th, okay, at a call buy. And then I sold it at a limited sale on April 13th, roughly about a week and a couple of days after. I made a small profit. I was trying to look for the big loss I had on here, but it's not showing me that. It's showing me one of my recent ones that happened back in April. But you have to be very cognizant. And the reason why I like to show when I lose and I win, if you notice that some people, not everyone on YouTube or Instagram, some of them do show you when they lose money, but a lot of people just show you when they're making money. And I think that's ingenuine. It's so fraudulent because as an investor, you have to understand that there's going to be days you take losses and you can't be emotional. You can't be emotional about your investment because you took a loss. Okay. Because when you're investing, whether your type and method of investing, you have to know that there's going to be days where you lose money. And if you guys have any questions while I'm here, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. But when it comes to the art of investing, ladies and gentlemen, and I know a lot of you who are not in investing and some of you who just started investing, you guys may be fearful of investing. And that's why I always tell people who are beginning to invest is to start with small amounts, $25 a month, $50 a month. And there's all these different platforms that you guys can utilize in order to get inside the stock market. It would be, hey man, I don't want to watch the stock market every day. I don't want to look at my portfolio every day. And I tell people, invest in index funds and ETFs and continue to buy them each and every month. Have them on recurring investments. But the point is this, no matter your profession, no matter your job, whether you're making $120,000 a year or you making $30,000 a year, if you're not investing, then you're essentially losing out on potential profit that you could make because the stock market alone has made people, I'm going to be realistic here, thousandaires, because some people never had thousands, 100,000aires, millionaires, and billionaires. Now, the number one market that people don't closely associate investing, but it's 100% investing, is the real estate market. The real estate market has made more millionaires than anybody else. Most people I know who's in the real estate who are buying property are millionaires. It took them time to accumulate a number of properties. And again, I know I've been saying this for the past year or so. I'm gonna buy a property. I was in the market last year. Things occurred. I got out the market. I'm chilling right now. Okay. And then, because here's the thing, when I got out the market, slowly but surely, the market was becoming hotter and hotter. Like I bought this house that I'm currently in for $390,000. $390,000. This house right now is worth $550,000. That is how hot the market is. And people are saying, hey, man, the market may not cool down for quite some time. Okay, I'll wait. But no, I'm not going to wait to the point where, there's some prime real estate about 40 minutes from me that I'm continuing to look at. There's so many developments. And here's another thing for you guys who are trying to get into real estate buying. And again, this is all about investments. I want you to think about the art of investment. I'm giving you different forms of investments. If you guys are thinking about the real estate and buying property, a duplex, a townhome, a condo, a single family home, then I want you to think about this. Is you're driving around different neighborhoods and potential neighborhoods and communities that you want to buy a property. I'm going to give you one thing that could potentially have you to be very profitable in buying that property. What are they building up around that property? See, the one thing people, when you're driving through and there's all this construction, you get discouraged, right? You get discouraged like, damn, there's construction everywhere. Right? Because traffic is horrible. You know what real estate investors, not real estate agents, don't get them twisted. Not real estate brokers, not real estate agents, real estate investors, people who go in and buy property. You know what they do? They're happy. They go around these neighborhoods and they're looking at properties and they said they're doing all this construction. They're building up downtown. They're building a small community center. They're building a convention center. They just opened up a Chick-fil-A. I'm being serious. You may not think it, you may not see it the way they see it. They're looking at infrastructure. They're looking at infrastructure being built up. And so the properties in that environment, the properties in that neighborhood, the value of them homes are going to go up. But you want to buy it before they finish construction. Okay? Because there's going to be people, there's going to be motivated sellers who like, this neighborhood is changing. I need to get out of here. They're making this some sort of city. Those are the people you're looking for. Oh, you willing to sell? Now, there's a difference between a well-informed seller and a not well-informed seller. A well-informed seller, they're going to sell their house knowing that the infrastructure and the property value is being increased. They're going to sell their home $10,000, $20,000 over asking price. But uninformed sellers, whatever it's worth, that's what they'll sell it for. Okay, or people who are just ready to get the hell out of there. So it's very important. It's very important that you understand the art of investing and how many investments that you guys can make. We've talked about this before in a different manner, but I think it's important to continue to have these discussions so we don't lose sight of what's really important. At the end of the day, we all need money and we all need more money. For whatever reason you need the money for, that's on you. But these are the ways how you build and multiply, compound on your money, is investing of some sort. Now and again, while you guys are here, if you will, please give this video a thumbs up. Give it a like, share it with some friends, some colleagues that you guys may find this information useful. Please give it a video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber here at Financial Literacy 101. Usually I do a cigar talk on Friday or Saturday night. This is a pop-up cigar talk. I'm enjoying a nice Cuban. I think I would share this with you guys. And we just got finished talking about the art of investing. And now we're just going to move into some random things. Okay, random things. If you guys want to stay along with me here, we're just going to talk about some random things that you guys may find value in or not. Okay. So, and we know there's some random thing. I hate feedback. Sorry about that, guys. If you guys are noticing that there's been a lot of talk about the whole Tulsa, Oklahoma, that Joe Biden went there. You guys know about that, right? The one thing that the Biden administration recognized through an executive order that Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood community, it was a massacre. And that the survivors who were kids at the time, their parents' wealth got wiped away because the buildings got burned and bombed, and lots of people got killed. Okay, lots of people got killed. It was total mayhem. Okay, from what those grown adults, and they're like 100 plus now, for what they can remember, they were very traumatized by this event. What's very alarming to me is that I don't hate on any other group. I may mention it a couple of hundred times, but I don't really hate on any group that got money from this government. I don't hate on the Jews who got money from Obama. I don't hate on the Native Americans who just got another $31 billion from Joe Biden. I don't hate on the protections that Asians receive. The only thing I really hate on, ladies and gentlemen, is that as Black people in America, we do not receive any protections under the law, and we don't receive any monies, monetary compensation, checks, bags of cash under the law like these other groups have under the federal government. See, what we get is two things, and for some reason, the most prominent Blacks are on TV being cheerleaders for these things. What are the things that we get? We get recognition, okay, because he recognized Tulsa, Oklahoma as a massacre, and we get symbolism. Now, I don't know who went out and celebrated Juneteenth. I don't know how to celebrate a day where good white supremacists let our ancestors go from bondage, right? But when I look at other groups, how they have received money, when they released the Japanese prisoners, the Japanese civilians that they had in the internment camps, they give everybody a check for $20,000. Now, that was back, I believe, in the 40s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They received $20,000 per person. $20,000 back then was probably 80 grand today. And so there's a lot of us that are saying, oh, we're never going to get reparations. Or some of us are against reparations. How could you be against money that is owed to you for the work your great grandfather and grandmother did? It's almost like you put in work at your job, and then and then your job refuses to pay you, and you say, you know what? No, I don't even want it now. I don't even want it. You know how people are. When somebody asks you to do something or asks something for you, and you're kind of like, nah, I don't really want to, and then you're like, okay, I'll give it to you. No, I don't want it now. I don't want it now. That's how some Black folks are today. Why is that? This is money that our ancestors worked for, bled for, died for, and some of us are out here publicly saying, no, I don't think we should get reparations. Who is we? I don't want to call out any names, but who the hell is we? See, let me throw this in the mix. Which one of you guys refused the stimulus check? If you got it, which one of you guys refused the stimulus check? Okay. Which one of you guys refused your tax return? This is what I'm talking about. If you don't believe that the black community needs and is owed reparations, then my whole ploy is shut the fuck up. This don't like, I think it was Herschel Walker. He was against reparations or something. It was another prominent guy, black guy. And I'm just like, listen, you could be against reparations all you want, but for the greater good of the many black people in the hoods, in the projects, in the slums, I don't care if they buy 28-inch rims. This is money that is owed to us, not that we're begging or asking for it. And I got it. There's some of you, I don't think we're ever going to get reparations. I don't think we're ever going to get reparations. I don't think we're ever going to get reparations. Can I ask you a question? Have any of you guys ever played sports? Have you ever ran track? During your event, during your race, if you had that mindset is, I'll never beat the number one in the city, I'll never be able to finish this mile-long race, then you will quit, and then you will never know. See, if you're a fighter in the boxing ring and you're in the ring and you're taking blows, you're giving blows, but you're taking more blows than you're giving, and you're not doing so well in this particular fight, and you start having doubts about, hey man, we got 12 rounds, you're down 6. You're down 6 rounds. Should you give up? Or should you keep fighting? Did he knock you out yet? And the federal government has not knocked out black people. We're fucking resilient. We're going to find a way. We're going to make a way. I was just talking to a buddy of mine, like when I was young, we didn't have no butter. My mom would take some bread. Remember the Wonder Bread? She'll take the Wonder Bread. She'll slap some meat and cheese on it and throw it right in Crisco grease. Unhealthy as hell. You talking about a damn heart attack and clogged arteries. But nonetheless, we were going to eat. So what I am trying to say is we're much more than survivors. We're much more than fighters. We have to understand the fight of what is owed to us has to continue until the day you die, because you'll never know when you're going to get it. It's kind of like the guy and the lady who goes to the corner liquor store every freaking day and plays the lottery. Now, I don't advise that. I wish they would invest their money. But they'll play and play and play. Give me 50 straight, 50, 20, whatever. And eventually they're a hit, but they probably already done spent all the damn money they used buying tickets over the course of years from the first time they hit. But you get the analogy I'm getting at. Let's see here. And guys, you can ask me anything, okay? Ask me anything that you want. Make comments. I don't care. Kendrick Teller says, the sad thing is they continue playing us. Somehow, me and my brother, or my brother and I'm just kidding, ended up in the JCPenney last week. They had Juneteenth products. They had Juneteenth products. And he said it was from China. See, let me tell you something. Juneteenth. Okay. Listen. Okay, we got a day that recognizes the end of slavery, which in Texas, slavery still was going on another 2 years after. But nonetheless, that is another form of symbolism to symbolize something that has ended, but it does nothing for the actual people of today. See, the real reparations, in my opinion, should have went to our forefathers and our foremothers, because the same wealth you see other groups have, you see Asians have, you see whites have, a lot of that wealth has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. Before all of the social media, for all the crazy things you guys see us do, people breaking in. I take a breath, because it's very difficult and hard to understand that some of the things that we go through as a people, some of us is self-inflicted. It's kind of like white supremacy shot us in our arm, and we then took a knife. Instead of trying to carve out the bullet, we just started stabbing each other. You get what I'm trying to say? If you look at some of the neighborhoods and community that you grew up, there's a lot of things that was subjugated on us, you know, cocaine and redlining and not being able to open up businesses. But I know those are precursors to the current situations we're in, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Growing up in the hood in Southeast DC, and I look at other people I went to high school with who are, a lot of them are doing actually good. We made a freaking decision. We could have easily been a product of our environment. And that would have been the easy excuse. Okay. He grew up with nothing. He grew up poor. This is why he ended up in jail, robbing and killing people. But I realize this one thing. Now, I am lucky. I won't say, you know, I was born with a silver spoon. I've been lucky. I grew up in Southeast DC, never met my dad. My mom died when I was 12. But the one thing I've done is made a decision, because those mentors help. When I lived in a group home, those mentors in that group home helped. Kendra Taylor say, I see a bunch of weird stuff. Congrats to the chick that qualified for the Olympics. She had on Doritos earrings. Don't any of these athletes promote black businesses? And that, you know what, Kendra, that kind of gives me to a segue that is somewhat on the same topic. For a very long time, if you guys notice, majority of the black comedians on TV, one time or another, has wore a dress. The only two people that I can recall that has not wore a dress, being a black comedian, well, I can name a few. Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams. I want to say Steve Harvey never wore a dress. But you know, the one thing that kind of just sparked that thought is that I just got finished watching this wonderful movie that Kevin Hart starred in called Fatherhood on Netflix. Me and my lady, we just watched it. It was a wonderful movie. But do you know, at the end of the movie, Kevin Hart had on a dress. Kevin Hart had on a dress. Why is it a sin? Why is it destructive for black men to be black men? Why do we have to be emasculated to where if you are seems to be a strong black man, that you are toxic masculinity? That's the key term, key word, key phrase that people are using. Yeah, Mike, it was a good movie. But at the end, Kevin Hart wore a dress. Me and my lady, we kind of just lost it, okay? But the point I'm making here, guys, is that you should never speak out when it comes to something as powerful and life-changing as reparations. Okay? Whether you believe we should get reparations or not, maybe you're doing well. See, here's the thing. Those people who say, oh, we shouldn't get reparations, you know the condition that they're in? Them motherfuckers are living a good life. They have professions. They have degrees. They have certifications. They're living a really, really good life. All the people I've ever heard saying, nah, I don't think we deserve or should get reparations. None of them motherfuckers are in the hood. None of them are in the project. None of them are homeless. You go ask a homeless guy who's not on drugs, who's not drunk, say, hey, Do you know your history about slavery and all the work that your ancestors did, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And he says, yes, do you believe that you should get reparations? I wonder what that bum would say being homeless. Nah, I don't think we should get it. I'm good out here just living on the fucking street. I believe in partnerships, business partnerships with others. I do believe in that. I believe that as Black people, we can work well with others when it comes to business. But when it comes to a lot of other things, if you guys are just watching the news, and I don't mean CNN, MSNBC, I'm talking about black news, and a lot of people, sometimes when people talk Black, people hate that Black people talk Black, like support Black businesses, watch Black news, do this. Because here's the thing, you live in a society where the dominant population is white. The second dominant population is Hispanic. And then soon, because of all the influx of immigrants that's coming over from Asia, we're going to be the fourth minority. So when you look at all of these other groups, even Africans, when they come over, right? They don't consider us African. They consider us, you're Black, you're from America. Okay, cool. When they come over here, they build their own little segments, cities, and districts in America. They say, hey, we're going to buy up all this property over here. We're going to nickel and dime. We're going to nickel and dime. We're going to all live in this one bedroom apartment. We're going to nickel and dime. And we're going to buy this place, that place, this place, this place. And then your ass in Chinatown. Now you're in Koreatown. But back in the day, we had multiple Black Wall Streets, also known as the Black Business District, where everything was owned by Black people. But anytime Black people talk Black, then you got other Blacks talking about why I got all to be about Black people. Do you understand other groups don't need to have these conversations because they support their freaking own? When you go to Chinatown in DC, Chinatown in DC, you see things in what? Chinese letters. You would think that you was in China. And they support their own businesses. But it's hard for us to go online to Black-owned market, to different Black-owned websites and support our own. You know what? I challenge everybody to go once a month and eat at a Black restaurant or shop from a Black shop or go online and find something to support your own. Like, I kind of like the area that I live in, this whole Dallas, Houston area, because when I went to Houston this weekend to see my stepson fight in his first UFC fight, which he won, congrats, Markel. He beat the shit out that dude. But anyway, he beat him in the second round. When I went to Houston, I was just like, wow. Now, it was in the ghetto, as we may say, but they had a bunch of Black businesses. In the area that I am in now, the Black businesses are spread around, but we go to them. There's a restaurant called Pangier, another restaurant called Dax Daiquiri in Dallas. You guys know, was it Kitchen and Cocktails or whatever, something like that. But there's all these Black businesses. When I was living back in DC, which I'm from, we had Black businesses when I was younger, and then they started to fade away, and then Asians moved in. And what I started to realize is that when it comes to business, there is no Black Asian coalition, but there's definitely no Asian hate when it comes to Black people. We don't just go around hating on Asian people, beating up Asian people. That's not who we are. I don't know how the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, whatever party started that bullcrap. That's strictly propaganda, okay? But I can tell you this. we had a supply line that was severed. And so when the agents came in, they started getting their products from their home countries, China and Korea and Japan. And they were slicing prices. It's kind of like when Walmart moved into podunk towns. Those podunk towns, Walmart came in and closed all the mom and pop shops because they got most of their products from China, which were, if you were making it at home or you was getting it from local suppliers and distributors, okay, let's just take, for instance, I don't know, some sheets will cost you $50 because they're getting it from China. This shit like $20, but they only pay $5 to make them. So what am I getting at? What I'm saying is when you're going out and you're looking for Black businesses to support, understand that it may be a little bit higher than you buy at a local store or online somewhere. It may be a little bit higher because more times than not, Black people are using premium products, and especially if you're getting like a face cream, you know, hair gel, whatever the case may be, they're using all natural products, so it's going to cost more. So you should definitely be supporting your own. You should definitely be in the fight for reparations. And if you're not in the fight for reparations, don't shut your fucking mouth. Because there's a lot of people out here that are hurting that will do the right thing by the money. See, I know we're judging our people by what we see. Yeah, I believe there's going to be a lot of people who go out and buy 20-inch rims and buy cars they can't afford with their reparation money. But who freaking cares? Should you care about that? There's going to be some of you that buy property. There's going to be some of you that buy land. There's going to be some of you that start businesses off that money. So my thing is, if someone's fighting for what is owed to them by their great grandfathers and grandmothers, then why would I get involved? Why would I speak out against my own? Even if I don't believe in it, I'll just shut the fuck up. That's what other groups do. White people do it. Hispanic people do it. Asian people do it. They just shut up. They're like, I don't agree with it, but you know, I'm not going to speak out publicly against it. They're doing it in their little groups, cigar lounges, bars. They'll talk out now, but they never go fucking public with it. But we do. We just got to be heard. See, my thing is sometimes we just have to shut up for the greater good. We do. Oh, I didn't know that, Kendrick. He said Dave Chappelle wore one in Robinhood Man in Tights. So there's Dave Chappelle. I guess he wore a dress too. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to understand that we as a people, again, we can do business with everybody. I'm not saying, oh, you should only do business with Black people, but I'm talking about your purchasing power that everybody keeps talking about. You could definitely one time a month buy one product, go to one Black restaurant. But when it comes to business, I believe do business with Black people, do business with white people, do business with Asian people. But I can tell you this, when I go to an Asian shop and I look at the employees, guess who I see? Guess what I see when I go to Asian shops? And guess who's working in these Asian shops? Asian people. When I go to a Hispanic shop, food shop, clothing shop, whatever it may be, guess who I see working in these Hispanic shops? This is not a hard test. Hispanics. So basically, let's go full circle with this. If we was given what's owed to us, reparation, and 25% of the people who receive reparations started businesses, the other people who didn't make great financial decisions and bought a bunch of stuff because they never had that much money, you still going to need people to work for you, and you can employ your own. If you notice, a bunch of small shops, small restaurants, small commerce shops, they employ their own people. The only time where you see businesses that have different people working for them is when they become large, because now they're trying to hire from a different pool of people. Like Amazon. When Amazon first started, it was just white people. They said, well, shit, you know, we're growing so big, real fast. We want white people, we want black people, we want Asian people, okay? But when you see these little small shops, Asian shops, Hispanic shops, they're employing their own. You may see onesies and twosies of another race, but the majority of the people that work there are that particular race of the people who own it. And this whole narrative that we need all these illegal immigrants to take up all these jobs, that there's not going to be a white person, black person, Asian person that's going to go out there in the fields and pick fruit. That's a damn lie. I can tell you right now, there's some black people. If you offer them $17 an hour or the state minimum wage, they will go out there in the fields and they will pick that damn fruit to feed their family. That's an excuse that is put on us through constant propaganda, through many media sources, that Americans are not willing to go and do some of the same jobs that these illegal immigrants. They say these things for us to accept it. And I know some of you right now like, nah, man, we ain't gonna do that. Yes, we will. If they gave you a fair wage for a fair day of work, then there'll be plenty of Americans, legal Americans, that will go out and pick that damn fruit. All right, JB says, what about the population of mixed races? Sorry, late to show. What do you mean by that, JB? Explain that. What do you mean? And matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to put a link in the chat for anybody to join me. If you want to ask me a question, you can join with or without your video. Okay, you can join with or without your video. The link is now in the chat. Click that link, and when you click it, you can join with or without your video. Okay, you don't want to be saying that's cool. You want to be saying that's also cool. But I don't know what you mean, JB, when you say, what about population of mixed races? I mean, I have buddies who are mixed race. It was a few. Okay, you got to give me some context. We're talking about random. We're in the random section of this particular video. Thank you. Kendrick says, it's already black people in the fields. I delivered a truckload of pallets in Saratoga, Florida. A handful of black people were there. The lady said it was more, but they moved towards cheaper labor. Of course. Of course. Now, if you guys think that the federal government gave black farmers restitution through some sort of grant, that's reparation, that's a farce. The federal government is trying to sweep dirt under the rug, because don't forget, I think it was in the 30s and 40s, they boxed black farmers out of the farming industry. If you go and see, here's the thing that I have with our people, unfortunately. We speak out of emotion, like we're fired up. We speak out of emotion because we heard something, but no one really tracks the history of the discrimination and the racial biases that occurred throughout the years. None of us look at the history. We don't know our history. Because some of you may think, oh, because I did it, not me, you did it, that everybody else can do it. No, not everybody else can do it. Not everybody else can do it. Because the one thing that the dominant society can do when it comes to white supremacy is say, well, look, we got blacks working at this organization. America must not be racist. This organization must not be racist. Let me give you another form of propaganda. Have you noticed that we are the number one race that is shown on TV being shot and killed by the police? And I don't want to really say back in the day, I want to say maybe 5-10 years ago, that I heard that a lot of black people, I've heard this out of black people's mouths. Well, what'd he do? And granted, everybody who has got locked up, incarcerated, shot, killed by law enforcement, all of them wasn't innocent. But what they're showing is, regardless if a black person is innocent or not, they continuously show you the trauma, the violence, for you to become comfortable with it, for you to become used to it, where it's not a big deal anymore. I'm gonna tell you, I did it and you've done it. Hey man, you heard about that black dude getting killed by the police and they planted evidence? Yeah, man, that was fucked up. Okay. Right? Not what are we going to do about it? How are we going to get justice for this brother, for this sister? None of that. But wait. Blacks in this country have been, you know what? I know mistreated is a light version of a word. I'll say tormented. Blacks in this country have been tormented by one way or another, by law enforcement and by race soldiers. But Asian Americans went through 1 year, supposedly 1 year, allegedly 1 year of discrimination and racist acts. And they got a freaking executive order by the federal government signed by the president of these United States of white supremacy. So every time you guys go out and you get into an argument, you get into a dispute, you get into physical contact or even a fight, more times than not, you being black in America, they're going to tell you that's Asian hate and it's a hate crime, and you're going to be prosecuted by the full letter of the law. Now, JB said something about mixed race people. So I don't know why this thing keeps focusing in and out. I do apologize, family. I don't know what's going on with my camera here. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna press on even through this blurriness. When it comes to mixed race people and it comes talking about the talks of reparation, the one thing I ask is, one of the parents of this mixed race person, first and foremost, are they a foundational Black American? And can their roots be traced back to the slave fields prior to 1870 or 1890? If one of your parents is a foundational Black American and their ancestors were in slavery, then that child, that descendant, that mixed person is due reparations as well. That's the answer to that segment. All right, let's see here. JB said, oh, you said white people are the largest population, then Mexican. I didn't say Mexican, brother. I said Hispanics. But eventually, mixed race will make up a large group of the population. You're right. You're right. But what we have to understand is, even with that being said, Black people are going to be the fourth minority. Right now, we're sitting at the third minority and we get no benefits, we get no protections, we get no money under the law. So if you don't get nothing, this is what Dr. Claude Anderson said, which I agree 1000%. If you didn't get no benefits, no protections, nothing, being the third minority, then what the hell are you going to think being the fourth minority? See, right now, and I'm not attacking Democrats, but majority of Democrats pander to black people to get the black vote. Republicans, they tease at it, hey, because believe it or not, Juneteenth came from Donald Trump. Making Juneteenth a federal holiday when it comes to the presidential portion of it, he first mentioned it as being a national holiday to get votes. And then Joe Biden did it. And I'm not a Trump supporter, just for you guys to know. Conscious Music said, black people everywhere have been tormented. Why is that? Come on, Conscious, you know that because we're black. We have been considered the underclass by the entire world. Black people have been considered the underclass by the entire world. China right now is going over to Africa, and those sellout government officials, not all of them, not all of Africa, because we understand that Africa is many countries. In Africa, there's over 50 countries. Because Africa is not a monolith. There's many cultures, tribes, traditions, etc. in history for each country in Africa. But a lot of those African countries are selling their land, their resources, their minerals to China. China right now is building naval bases, army bases in Africa. Look it up. And those African leaders are taking that Chinese money and living a great life while their people are fucking suffering. I saw a clip yesterday on Tariq Nasheed's channel, on his Twitter channel, how this black African lady was commenting on a black American lady about interracial dating. And what was funny is she said that black people in America, we have color obsession. We have color obsession, meaning that we're obsessive with our color, and that Africans are not, and that's why they can date everybody, and that they have never been oppressed. And I said, whoa. There's probably only like 2 countries in Africa that the Europeans did not colonize. What do you think colonization is? Colonization is oppression. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Colonization is oppression. When another group of people from an entire different continent comes to your continent and colonize over 40-something countries, they replace your culture. Like, you can retain some of it, and they change your name. That's why when you meet a lot of African people, they have 2 names. They have a European white name, and they have an African name. That's colonization. If Europeans never went to Africa, you would never have a fucking white name. Some of us was actually born in this country. There are native black Americans, not Native Americans, native black Americans. Some of your roots stem back from this country, and that's it. Where your grandmother told you, oh, you're part Seminole, you're Cherokee, you're Choctaw, you're Navajo. Then some of our ancestors came over on slave ships. Either way, if your roots stem back here, then you're old reparations. But this is what I don't understand. When we grew up, white America, white media made our African brothers and sisters look like poor, destitute, unintelligent. They tried to demean them in the best way possible, the best way they could. And in Africa, they were showing black Americans being hood, being gangsters, being drug dealers. Like, we never had businessmen. We never had inventors. There's no black doctors, no black lawyers. So they started this dissension, this divide against us. And now when they come over there and there's all this negative energy and animosity between us two. And we are related, regardless if you're a Native Black American or your roots stem back to Africa. We are related. We got the same look. We got the same features. Okay. Now, JB, you said something very positive. And I think he was responding to Conscious Music. He says that they feel threatened by their genes because they're recessive, which is 100 scientifically true. Now, Frances Cress Welsing said this. She talks about that the reason why that white supremacy tries to annihilate black people, and mostly the black male, is because we can't annihilate any race. We can't annihilate any race because in the gene pool, we have the strongest genes. See, two black people can essentially have a white baby called albino. And then in white people, every white person has the recessive gene of albino. When have you ever seen two white people make a black baby? Show me. They're saying that notion alone is genetically impossible. I forgot to close this vent. Excuse me, guys. My lady is going to be mad at me. I'm supposed to close that vent so the smoke won't, go downstairs. But this is the problem that we run into, is because none of us, okay, now I'm speaking inclusively, like to pick up a damn book. Like I bought the whole series of Dr. Claude Anderson books. I bought, what was that book that Sister Ali? I have that on my digital books. But here's the thing. We need to read, people. We need to read. Whether it be a digital book, start off with the audio book. But we need to learn our history so we understand when we're being lied to, when we're being pandered to, when they're trying to cater to us through symbolism and recognition. I want you guys to look at the reparation talk like this. If you got jumped by a bunch of people, non-black people, and you took them to court to sue them, and the court system says in any other case we will sue them, and you'll get some money for your pain and suffering, and we will incarcerate them. When Joe Biden went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and recognized the massacre in the Greenwood community, instead of giving them reparations for their pain and suffering so they can start generational wealth, he gave them recognition. So what if you went to court and they said, hey, we recognize you got your ass whooped, but yeah, that's it. We don't find a case here. I want you guys to think about that very, very strongly. For people who are the naysayers out there who are living in nice houses, driving nice cars. And then some of us would say, well, what about our millionaires and billionaires? Should they get reparations? Yeah, if their roots stem back from slavery. And some say, well, how are we going to track all these people? Listen. And again, I have no hate. I had no animosity. I'm not speaking against the Native American community. The Native American community that essentially is now made up of European mixed with Mongolian, mixed with maybe some little minuscules of black. They gave multiple Native American tribes reparation, and they continuously give a multitude of these tribes reparation each and every month. each and every year. And the question is, how do you find that out? Well, Native Americans told me, well, he told me that they've been fighting and this, that, and the other. Oh, okay. Not fighting physically, but fighting in the court system, and that they build nations. This is what I'm getting at when that guy told me this, right? When this guy told me that they've been fighting for this and fighting for that, they allowed you. You going to court when... Listen, ladies and gentlemen, back in the day when blacks went to court, is it 99% that majority of us ended up in jail? 99% of the time, we never got anything through the court system because it's ran by white supremacy. So when a Native American tells me that, oh, we've been going to court, we've been doing this, listen, they gave you guys land. Now, granted, I know the history. They stole your land. They gave a little bit back to you. I got it. But they're paying you every month, right? And that's your reparations. I'm not against their reparations. They should get everything that they fight for, ask for, because essentially this is their land. But our ancestors, the Native Black Americans, and the ancestors, we've been the descendants of the ancestors that was brought over here on the slave ships. We are owed reparations as well. We are owed reparations as well. And the issues that we keep having is that we have a couple of prominent, recognized, well-established black people speak out against reparations. And then the one thing I keep hearing from people who don't have the one thing I keep hearing from people who don't have a worry in the world is, where is the federal government going to get the money? I hear this from a couple of blacks. I hear this from a lot of whites. Where is America going to get this money to give blacks reparations? And I ask them, where the fuck they get the money to give Native Americans money? Where the fuck they get the money to give the Holocaust survivors that came over here money? Where do they get that money from? Where do they get the money to pay the stimulus checks? Where do they get the money? We are a country that's based upon fiat, and no one cares about the national debt. We speak about it, but you don't really care how much debt America's in. You don't care. You don't care. Nobody cares. If you're poor in the hood, do you care about the debt of America? No, you do not. You're worried about feeding your damn family. Now, for some of you guys who are not familiar with this, okay, for some of you who are not familiar with this, the national debt of America is $28 trillion and rising. $28 trillion and rising. Nobody cares. Just a couple of months ago, it was $24 trillion. It's growing and growing. Then some people say, well, eventually the bubble is going to burst. Eventually the bubble is going to pop. If that's the case, why are rich people still flying on private jets? If that's the case, why are rich people still chilling on yachts? If that's the case, why are you still waiting for a stimulus check? Here's the thing. If anybody ever cared about the national debt, then why accept the stimulus check? You so worried about the national debt? Nobody's worried about the fucking national debt. And if Native Americans fought for everything that they have, so you fought, I understand the land bill that you guys somehow. Let me tell you the real reason why Native Americans got sovereign land. And sovereign land simply means they are a nation within a nation, right? They have land that the federal government funds. They have land that the federal government gave back to them, and they pay them monetary payment every month. But with this particular Native American that I spoke to, and I don't want to say his name because I would just love to talk to the guy, because he kept saying how all these billions and millions of dollars that Black people are going to receive. And I was like, man, we've never received anything. They said numerous years that, you know, Black people are going to get this and we're going to get that and we're going to get this and we're going to get that. We haven't got anything. You're already receiving yours. But do you think they care about the national debt? No. See, that's the problem in our society, that our argument, our fight is always deflected to something else that seems more important. They won't even tell you guys the truth about the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement was started by Black women. Right? Then allegedly, the Black Lives Matter organization, not the movement, the organization was funded by the Democratic Party with 3 LGBT Black women, but is headed essentially, allegedly, by the Democratic Party. But see, what happens to us, instead of, and here's the important part, guys, and I don't want to lose nobody with this. We damn near are afraid, like reading is kryptonite. We'll rather watch CNN and Fox News and MSNBC and NBC and ABC and CNBC. We'd rather watch it instead of read your history, read books, go dig, go research, and understand these things. So when someone who is abstract and who veers from the beaten path, like myself, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, some of the stuff he's saying, you know, it's cool, it's good, but, you know. And some of us would like to believe that because we know someone who is non-Black, that particular race is not racist towards us. Are there good white people? Yeah. Are there non-racist white people? Yes. And that goes for Asians, Hispanics, and everyone else. I just learned this a couple of years ago, and some of you might have known this, but this comes from reading. I did not know there was a such thing as Afro-Mexicans. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? Oh, and if you do, how recently did you find out that information there was Afro-Mexicans? How recently did you find out there was Afro-Mexicans? Meaning these people are mixed with African and Spaniard and some sort of Native American. These are Afro-Mexicans. You don't get that melanation from being in the sun. And I believe the name of this particular town, well, not town, but they're all around Mexico. But the number one town that a lot of Afro-Mexicans are in is Veracruz. But there's a large population of Afro-Mexican. It's such a weird mix that you wouldn't know it if you didn't see it. Like this gentleman here. He looked like he can be from Lagos. He can be from Ghana, but he's an Afro-Mexican. You will call this guy Dominican, but he's an Afro-Mexican. But if you don't know your history of all the different types of melanated people, then you don't understand that this is why we're being shunned. We're being divided and put out every aspect of government, social, economics. Why do you think there's a large portion of the Black community that have mental issues? I guarantee if I ask everyone, do you have someone in your family that suffer from some sort of mental illness? You would tell me yes. And some people like to believe this is hereditary. No, mental illness is not hereditary in African melanated people. The problem is that America, next to Europe, is that you constantly live in white supremacy. And white supremacy operates in all realms and all activities of life. It operates in religion. It operates in social. It operates in your food. They understand that in the ghetto, in the projects, in low-income areas, these people can't afford high-quality foods. When the last time you seen a damn Whole Foods in a hood? No. You see Kroger, you see Food Line. You might have to go a couple of blocks down to go to the Safeway, but you don't see these things. And in those particular low-income hood project grocery stores, what do you see mostly of? Canned food, boxed food, low grade food. See, if you never read, then you won't understand that white supremacy operates in all these realms. And I know some people are so tired of all this race hate and all this race bait and all this white supremacy this and white supremacy that. But the key thing, the reason why there's all these people speaking out against it, because the mass majority of us are not getting it. It's not ringing a bell. We're not waking the fuck up. We're not lifting the veil from our eyes. Some people, if you knew your history, that the first Irish people were black. And if you look today, some of the whitest people are from Ireland. And then this is the weird thing. You'll see Black Irish. I typed in Black Irish. This is what you see. This is what you see. History of Black Irish. Okay. So again, it's important that we not only have the conversation and contextualize the history that has been lost, but is ready available at the fingertips. But you must understand how white supremacy operates. And as Francis Cress Welsing said, it operates in all the activities of life. Okay. JB says that the donations, Black Lives Matter donations, went to the Democratic Party. Yes, indeed it did. Big Uzi, was up, Big Uzi? He says in Veracruz. Thank you for confirming that, sir. Conscious said that he found out about Black Mexicans 3 years ago. Kendrick said 8 years ago. Big Uzi said 5 years ago. So majority of us just found this out in the last decade, that there's Black Mexican people, because the one that this political, social, economical system of white supremacies have propped up are white Mexicans. White Mexicans are high on the totem pole. Brown Mexicans are the people that's cutting your grass and building your homes. And the Black Mexicans are stuck in Mexico, poor and destitute. Everywhere you go on in this globe, in this world, except for the continent of Africa in some countries, we're the most hated people. Why do people hate, supposedly, okay, for what we know the history teaches and tells us, why do people hate the first people ever to walk the land, to walk the earth? Why do they hate us? Why is it that 10% of the world population controls the 90% of the world population? Did you guys know that Blacks conquered Spain? Look that up. Did you know that Blacks actually were slaves in India and then became, in some kingdoms in India, they became palace guards, and one Black guy became, he became an Indian, a black Indian king. Let me look that up real quick. Black Indian king. Forgot his name. I used to know all these people. Did you guys know about the Russian guy? Forgot his name, but he came high on a total pole in Russia. Black guy. Forgot his name, but he became a general in Russia. What about this guy? King of India. Four African kings who ruled in India. This is not an Indian guy. This is a black dude with Indian garb on. And it tells you right here, it says, 4 African kings who ruled India that have been erased from history. These are black men. You have to understand, we were the first people, and that we explored the world before the Europeans. So when people tell me, I know some people like, believe it or not, a lot of black people know they're mixed with Native American. But what they don't understand is that you being mixed with Native American, that the first Native Americans were black. Uh-oh. The first Native Americans were black. Uh-oh. Well, where's your proof? Let me tell you something about proof. Can I tell y'all something about this? Sometimes you can have common sense, and that's all the proof that you need. If you have common sense, then that's sometimes the proof, and that's all you really need. If black people were the first people on this earth, that means that everybody derived from black people, from African people. For a very long time, when I was growing up in grade school, I was told that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And we all celebrated Christopher Columbus Day. And if you look at the national holidays, they still, in the bylines, call it Christopher Columbus Day with Indigenous People Day. But this is what people didn't know, that there were black kings in India. There were black kings in India. But this is a history, if you never read and research, you'll never know. This is how powerful and intelligent our people are. I think I did a segment quite some time ago about black inventors, just black American inventors, not even African inventors, but black American inventors. And these are the things you need to teach your kids, because here's the thing. Majority of the TV, informational programs, school curriculum is based upon white America, right? And here's the thing, I understand that. They took over this country. The European white Anglo-Saxon people here in America are descendants from Europe, are the immigrants that came over here to America. But if you believe that Christopher Columbus, the Nina, the Santa Maria, and the Pinta, whatever it is, that they circled the globe before us, this is going to be a longer broadcast, so I got to break that shit down. Let me tell you. You guys got to know a little bit of your history and build on it, man. Let's see here. Big Uzi said they didn't pull them out of the census until now. It was 13 million Afro-Mexican. Oh, 1.3 or 1 to 3 million. JB says slavery existed within all races. No. Yeah. When each group of people throughout the globe was warring against each other, they enslaved one another. But the reason why our fight and our enslavement is different than other people is because even though there's history and there's some sort of evidence that groups of people enslaved their own and other groups of people, like, because here's the thing, the Europeans are not the first one to enslave Africans. Let's get that corrected. Now, on record, the first group of people that enslaved Africans as a monolith, was the Arabs. Okay, were the Arabs. They was the first one. Back then, the Moors were traveling and exploring the world prior to Europeans. Okay, and during that time, there was a lot of slave trades going on. But the reason why this is such a big issue now, even though you hear people say hundreds of years, there hasn't been hundreds of years of one particular race around the world that has been enslaved. They have somehow, in a collaborative group of people, say, we're going to enslave Black people. We're going to enslave African people only. Because other groups of people that hold in indentured servitude talk, that is what occurred through a lot of their races, where that's not enslavement. Okay, that is a financial bond that I gave you this, or I will give you this. I'll give you $1,000 and I'll build you a home. No. And that's why you hear some people say how capitalism is the birth of slavery, which it is. That's why American is capitalist, because they got free labor for hundreds of years. Now, the whole term of, our people have been enslaved 400 to 500 years. Now, technically in America, slavery only occurred and happened. The timeline is like 260 years, okay, officially. But around the world, our people have been enslaved 400 to 500 years through chattel slavery and other means. Until this day, and this is what people won't tell you. Now, I've said this before, but there's still slavery occurring, and some of it is physical slavery. Now, if you guys go out and reach how African women are being enslaved in Saudi Arabia, they're still selling slaves. Let's see, African slaves in the Middle East. Let's look that up. This is very important because you might not have known this. Okay, let me make sure I get something that's up to date. They're talking about East African forgotten slave trade. You guys remember 12 Years a Slave? Good book, good movie. But there's a lot of things going on, like right here. It says that on any given day, this is from a census back in 2016, an estimated 9.2 million men, women, and children were living in modern slavery in Africa. The region has the highest rate of prevalence, with 7.6 people living in modern slavery for every 1,000 people in the region. And this is from globalslaveryindex.org. What countries still have slavery today? India, China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Uzbekistan, and North Korea. And that's not all Black slavery. That's a mix of people. Yeah. So when it comes to that, ladies and gentlemen, I just really want our people. This is not a fight against white people. This is not a fight against Asian people. This is not a fight against Hispanic people. This is about, first and foremost, understanding where you come from, who you are, and how you are being hoodwinked, tricked, and bamboozled into thinking that one political party or one political class is essentially tricking you day in and day out with propaganda. And how other people either get monetary compensations from the federal government and also protections, how we still haven't till this day gotten any of those things. And just because they prop up a few of us doesn't mean that the rest of us are still not oppressed. See, my narrative is for every 100 Black people with degrees in IT, 100, only 5 of them will actually work for a company like Oracle, a company like Intel, a company like Nvidia, a company like Energy Star. Only 5 out of 100. Did you know in the black hair industry, we all know this. This is no surprise. That 99.9% of the manufacturers and distributors and stores are owned by Asians. That is selling to black men and women. Hair weave, lace fronts, eyebrows, hair grease, hair gel, combs, clippers, bonnets, you name it, 99.9% is owned, ran, and made by Asians. We have to be the dumbest race in the entire world that we allowed one people who does not share our hair, our texture, our features to sell us our own products. Think about that. I really want you guys to really think about that. We have to be some of the dumbest motherfuckers on earth to allow one race that's not of our own to sell to us hair and everything above and not have our own. Now, granted, there is one, I forgot the guy's name, a black guy. He is a distributor and manufacturer of black hair care products. And he did an interview how Asians essentially has boxed him out of the industry and that he has to work 3 times as hard to find other distributors and manufacturers and independent people in the black community to supply him so he can distribute it out to other businesses. This is what we don't know. This is what we don't know, ladies and gentlemen. That 99.9% of the black hair industry is ran by Asians. Even if you go to Atlanta, even if you go to Dallas or Houston or Chicago and you see a black hair shop, meaning that they're doing hair, who is supplying them with the hair? Who is supplying them with the eyebrows? Who is supplying them with the gel, the grease, the comb, all these other things? 99% is Asian. You know, what a lot of these Chinese business owners do, they go to India, they go to China. And when these women become monks, when women in these Asian countries become monks, Buddhist monks, they shave their hair, right? These business owners pay the monasteries to grab that hair and then sell it to us for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the damn price. Now, ladies, can I keep it 100 here? Any mind about this? Keep it 100. The hair that we get from these shops, straight, silky, flowing hair, lace fronts, is that our hair? Is that black people hair? Or is our hair curly, soft, if done right? See, I'm not going to go on that whole we have nappy hair shit. To me, I don't care what prominent person you listen to, because I think I heard Umar Johnson, which I do like. I'm not going with the nappy hair. We have soft, beautiful, curly hair. When you take care of your hair and you feel a woman's hair, okay, I got to say woman, I don't feel it on my man's head. But even men hair, they have, I'm talking about, you're not putting a bunch of chemicals and junk in it. But when I feel my lady's hair, who's all natural, she used all natural products, it's so soft. I like, babe, that smells great. That is our hair. We don't have straight, well, I take that back. There are some countries in Africa that they have straight hair. Like Ethiopians, they have straight hair. Ethiopians naturally have straight hair like that. There are a few African countries that their hair is naturally straight. But majority of African people, African melanated people, their hair is curly. And Black Native Americans, they may have somewhat straight, somewhat curly hair. It's a real weird mixture. You look at the Aborigines from Australia. Let's look at that very quickly, and I'm about to get out of here. Aborigines from Australia. And I don't know why they call them Aborigines. They were the original people. But if you look at... Okay. Here we go. So let's look at some of these African-born people and look at their hair. Now, even their hair is curly. Okay? But these people are Africans as well. Look at this. These are the Aborigines of Australia in chains during slavery time. These are our people as well. Again, we have people all around the world. Europeans are on record saying when we went to America, we saw dark-skinned people. When we went to Australia, we saw dark-skinned people. Look it up. They have it on record that when we went to these other continents, there were already people there. And they were dark-skinned. Cheers, guys. You guys have a great and wonderful night. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And this is your cigar talk. This is a pop-up cigar talk. You guys have a great one. I'm out.